T.I.'s worst nightmare might actually be unfolding right in front of him, and the wildest part? He predicted it years ago.
Stand by right here for me. 32, I'm 10 extend, 1 detain. Spread your legs slightly. I just need to pat you down.
Back in 2022, the rap legend sat his son King Harris down and warned him straight up. If he didn't slow down and clean up his act, the only future waiting for him would be behind bars. Right now, King is staring down the possibility of 5 years in prison, and honestly, nobody should be surprised. The warning signs were flashing like neon for years. Reckless driving, public blow-ups, even flexing guns in his music videos. Every move looked like another red flag, and now the path has led him straight into a courtroom. The craziest part? He's a brand new dad. Instead of rocking his newborn in the crib, he's facing the reality of being locked away for half a decade. Everything spiraled in October 2024, the exact moment King finally crashed out for real. He was behind the wheel of his BMW, pulled out of a gas station, and nearly smashed into a cop car. Total chaos. When the officers rolled up, they didn't even have to search hard. The smell of weed filled the car, and sitting bold as daylight on his hip was a gun. At that point, it was a wrap. King was done. But the real shocker came when they ran his name. That's when the situation got way uglier. That old open warrant from 2022 came back like a ghost to haunt King, the one he thought he could outrun forever. Back then, he got popped for speeding, driving on a suspended license, and even caught a DUI. Instead of showing up to court like he was supposed to, he pulled a vanishing act. That no-show sat in the cut like a ticking time bomb, just waiting for the perfect moment to explode. And in 2024, it finally blew up right in his face. When the arrest footage leaked online, it was almost half an hour long, and the internet ate it up instantly. First Badge Chronicles posted it, then Vlad, and it spread across every corner of social media. Watching it felt unreal. You see the cops drag him out of the BMW, snatch the gun right off his hip, cuff him tight, pat him down, and throw him in the back of the squad car. What had everyone talking, though, wasn't the gun or the cuffs. It was King's vibe. He wasn't wilding out or throwing a tantrum. He looked more annoyed than scared, almost like he already knew the game was up and there was no escape this time. One of the officers even said later that King stayed respectful the whole way through, and that comment only sent the internet into overdrive.
Of the public opinion, then I think, because I tell you what, I have the greatest, most extensive family photo album. I can document, and I can go back to when King was Eris's age. I can go back to when Major was my granddaughter's age.
Late night, and then it's just you and I slap you up. Yeah. You trying to act all tough, all like this in front of all your peeps.
Because when you're the son of a rap icon, even the smallest detail turns into breaking news. One day you're showing off on Instagram, the next you're sitting in DeKalb County Jail while the entire world watches your downfall unfold. For T.I., that moment must have stung deep. Back in 2022, when King's spiral first started, Tip went live on IG and opened up about it. He wasn't just talking like a dad, he was talking like a man who had already walked through that fire himself. I said plain and clear, time is gonna be his teacher. And now here we are, time has officially shown up, ready to deliver King the harshest lesson yet, a possible 5-year bid. Could you embarrass me like this? That was the question floating around online once clips of King's arrest started spreading like wildfire. Fans immediately dug up that old video of T.I. warning his son, and the internet lost its mind. Some people swore Tip had spoken it into existence like he cursed King just by predicting it years before. Others felt sympathy, saying imagine knowing your kid's downfall was right around the corner and being powerless to stop it. Either way, everybody had to admit one thing. I saw this storm coming from a mile away. And the truth is, King had been throwing out red flags for years before this moment. Who remembers the infamous Waffle House incident back in 2022? That was when a lot of folks started whispering that King was headed straight down a dangerous road. The footage showed him blowing up on staff, screaming and carrying on like he had something to prove. Instead of looking tough, he came off entitled, loud, and out of control. That clip showed the world how far King was drifting, picking fights that didn't even matter just to flex some fake image. And it didn't stop there. Who could forget the gun fiasco? That's when T.I. and Boosie had to jump in and check their sons live on camera. King and Boosie's boy, Tootie Raw, were shooting a music video, but instead of focusing on their lyrics, they flooded the set with guns like it was a trap house instead of a studio. That video went viral instantly, and for good reason. You can hear Tip's voice crystal clear telling them, "Why y'all even toting guns when you got girls right here?" He wasn't yelling, he wasn't cursing, he was laying down the blueprint, explaining that one slip-up with weapons or drugs in the wrong spot could end their freedom in a second. He wasn't just speaking as a father, he was speaking as a man who had lived it, survived it, and didn't want his son to repeat it. Fans actually gave both T.I. and Boosie their flowers for stepping in, saying it was rare and refreshing to see rap dads trying to steer their sons right instead of pretending nothing was wrong. But the problem? King wasn't trying to hear it. He listened, sure, but the lessons bounced right off him. And King's drama didn't stop in the streets. It bled straight into his personal life, too. When the news dropped about his baby mama, the internet went absolutely wild. The mother of his child, who goes by Big Nana, had everybody talking. Rumors spread that she was way older than King, and social media wasted no time ripping her apart. Some people said straight up she was only there for the money, while others labeled her a clout chaser trying to bag a long-term check. The age gap had timelines buzzing non-stop. But King? He leaned into it with zero shame. He threw her a full baby shower, posted proud pics during the pregnancy, and when their son finally arrived in November 2024, he couldn't stop bragging. He even dropped a track called Dear Son, writing about stepping up as a dad, and flexed on Instagram with the caption, November 5th, 8:09 a.m., welcome King Jr., time to take over. For a minute, it looked like maybe fatherhood was the thing that would finally ground him, maybe even make him trade the chaos for responsibility. The wildest part about King Harris's saga is how it feels like a movie everybody already saw coming. For years, blogs, fans, and even his own father were sounding the alarm that he was cruising toward a crash. From public meltdowns to waving guns on camera, he stacked problems like trophies, and when that 2024 arrest leaked, it hit like deja vu. That BMW stunt where he nearly smashed into a cop car, that wasn't just some bad luck, it was the perfect storm. All the ignored warnings, the old warrants, the reckless choices, they all circled back like vultures ready to swallow him whole. And what made it sting even harder was the timing. Right when he should have been celebrating fatherhood, life dragged him back into the mess he never cleaned up. Just weeks before that arrest, King was stepping into fatherhood for the very first time. He was flooding Instagram with pictures of his newborn, writing captions about how he was ready to step up as a man, and even dropped a heartfelt track called Dear Son. For a split second, people actually believed he was ready to flip the page. Like maybe this young dude finally realized life wasn't about flashing stacks, flexing chains online, or chasing some fake tough guy image. But instead of soaking in those first moments as a father, King was staring at a courtroom that could rip him away from his baby boy for 5 whole years. That's what made the situation cut even deeper. It wasn't just about King Wilden anymore. Now he had a child depending on him. And with that weight, the spotlight burned hotter than ever. When the arrest video hit the internet, the reactions poured in from every direction. Some people laughed it off, calling it his street cred moment. One person even commented, "That man finally got his street cred. He been telling y'all he outside." And that right there showed how twisted the culture can get, because instead of focusing on his newborn or his music, folks were treating the possibility of prison like some badge of honor. Others claimed he was loving the attention, pointing out how calm he looked in the clip, like he knew the cameras were rolling and he was playing it cool for the blogs. And truthfully, King did look a little too comfortable while being cuffed up, almost like he'd already accepted that being judged by millions was just part of the life he signed up for. But not everybody dragged him. Some fans actually tried to show him grace. One wrote, "He gonna be fine. He been doing good since his son was born. Wishing him blessings." Another pointed out that at least King wasn't fighting cops or lashing out, noting how he stayed respectful, which is rare in viral arrest clips. That's the flip side of the internet. Half the world ready to clown you, the other half rooting for your redemption. And with King, that split has been there for years. Some see him as just another entitled celeb kid trying to play gangster, while others see a young man drowning under the weight of a famous last name, just trying to figure out who he really is. When it comes to that famous last name, T.I.'s role in all this has the internet completely split. On one side, fans are dragging him, saying he dropped the ball as a father. The narrative floating around is brutal. How can a man with money
treat mine like you treat yours?
Why y'all got so much time, bro? Why y'all always gotta have?
What is it about
It's not illegal to have.
Well, in the manner in which you portraying in the lifestyle, it don't look legitimate, sir.
Because I'm not supporting no whore. I'm not.
I ain't doing it.
I'm not.
What kind of parents don't support their kids and they'll goddamn slide?
Bigger than you.
Popping it. And then got over there. So 12 pull up and they say, hey, who do you belong to? Who raised their hand? Somebody got to raise their hand.
I've been seeing him around too here a lot.
You gonna raise your own hand?
I've been seeing him around too like that.
Well, when you got it ain't
I know that.
when y'all got around those people, that's called it's not the possession of a commission of a crime, sir. That is a felony.
Yeah.
Thank you. Amen. It's free. Come here. Amen. It's free.
fame, wisdom, and all the tools in the world, still watch his own son spiral out. For somebody like Tip, who built his whole image as the OG dad, the wise mentor always giving his kids life lessons, seeing King crash out like this hits hard. Not just for the family, but for his brand too. The internet loves to sniff out contradictions, and people are quick to say, see, all that talking, and he couldn't even save his own son. But there's another side to it. A lot of folks actually sympathize with him because the truth is T.I. didn't just sit back and watch the chaos. He warned King. He sat him down, lectured him, even went live on camera using his own mistakes as the blueprint. You can't say he didn't try, but here's the painful part. Being a father doesn't mean controlling every move your kid makes, and that's what stings the most. Watching your child repeat the exact same mistakes you already showed them how to avoid. Let's not forget King had already been embarrassing the family long before the arrest. The Waffle House fight in 2022 went viral and had everybody clowning him, calling him spoiled, entitled, and out of pocket. Tip went live after that, and you could hear the exhaustion in his voice. He was genuinely baffled. He straight up said he didn't even understand why his son would stop everything just to beef with a cook. And then came the gun drama with Boozy's son, where both dads had to step in and school their boys on camera. Imagine that for a second. Being a rap legend, a man who survived federal cases, jail time, and real street wars, only to watch your own son chase the same disasters like it's all a game. That's got to cut deep, not just as a dad, but as somebody who literally tried to use his own scars to pave a safer lane for the next generation. Still, no matter how much King tests his patience, one thing has never changed: T.I.'s love for his son. Even with the internet tearing him apart, labeling him a failed father, Tip always makes it clear he's standing by King no matter what. And if that 5-year sentence actually sticks, best believe Tip will be right there in that courtroom, probably looking more broken than angry. Because disappointment fades, but seeing your child in shackles, that pain hits different and no parent is ever ready for it. That's why this moment is bigger than a viral clip. It's a real-life test for both father and son. For King, it's about whether he finally learns that time really is the teacher his dad warned him about. For Tip, it's facing the reality that no matter how much guidance you pour into your kids, they still gotta choose their own path, even if that path is straight to jail. King Harris is finding out the hard way that being the son of a hip-hop legend doesn't make you bulletproof. It just makes your mistakes louder, messier, and broadcasted for the whole world to watch. By now, King has turned into a walking headline. Every move he makes gets dissected, dragged, and debated online. And this court case only poured gasoline on what people had been whispering about for years. His come-up hasn't been about music, it's been about chaos. That's what makes his story so wild. He's not just some random young man making mistakes. He's the son of T.I., a rap icon, which means every slip-up gets magnified 100 times over. The internet won't let him breathe. His Waffle House meltdown, the gun antics, the baby mama gossip, and now the threat of 5 years in prison. It's like the world has been sitting back, waiting for this moment just to scream, "We told you so!" But if we're being real, King's saga is bigger than just another celebrity kid acting reckless. This is about the messy collision of fame, family, legacy, and the pressure to prove yourself. King grew up with money, cameras, and opportunities most kids could only dream of. Yet instead of leaning into that privilege, he wanted to show he was outside. He wanted street respect, not just recognition as T.Y.'s son. That's why people clowning him about finally earning street cred cut so deep. It proved he was chasing validation that might cost him everything. And now, with a newborn baby in the picture, those choices hit even harder. It's not just about King anymore. His actions impact his child, his family, and even his father's legacy. That's why fans are split right down the middle. Some say King's just young, making dumb choices like anybody else, and with time, he'll grow out of it. Others insist he's too far gone, that he loves the attention too much, and the courtroom is the only thing that'll slow him down. The truth is probably somewhere in between. King's not lazy. He's got ambition. He drops songs, pushes his image, and clearly wants to be seen. But the big question is, how does he want to be remembered? As an artist? A father? Or just another viral meme? Because right now, the image he's pushing leans more toward the meme. And that's dangerous when a judge is the one deciding your future. The irony in all this? T.I. has walked that very same path. He's beaten federal cases, survived real street wars, and rebuilt himself as the family man who flipped his life around. He knows exactly how fast everything can crumble. And that's why back in 2022, he looked his son dead in the eye and warned him, "Time is gonna be your teacher." And now, it wasn't just talk, it was lived experience. And now it looks like time is finally cashing in that lesson. What makes it sting even more is the way the public reacts. Because when you're famous, parenting doesn't stay private, it becomes a performance. Every time King slips up, people point fingers at T.I., acting like it's all his fault. They ignore the fact that Tip sat his son down, warned him, even checked him in public. The narrative becomes, he failed as a father, and that's brutal. It's one thing to watch your child struggle, it's another to have the whole world blame you for it. That's the heartbreak buried inside this story. The truth is, the bond between King and T.I. has always been complicated but real. You see it on their podcast, they crack jokes, they debate, they have raw conversations. That's not an absent father, that's a dad doing the work. So if King really does get slapped with 5 years, it won't just change his life, it'll shake the whole family. For Tip, it'll feel like deja vu watching his own blood walk into the same system he once fought to escape. Still, the internet can't help itself. Some fans clown King, calling him spoiled and reckless, saying he threw away blessings people would kill for. Others rush to defend him, pointing out he's still young, still figuring out life, and maybe fatherhood could be the very thing that saves him. That split reaction shows just how divided people are. Half the world waiting for him to fall, the other half holding out hope for his redemption arc. And maybe that's the bigger picture here. King Harris isn't just living his life, he's living it under a spotlight with millions of strangers acting like judges, watching every move. The real question now is simple. Will he crash out completely, or will he flip the script and prove everybody wrong? The outcome is still hanging in the balance. The judge could decide to make an example out of him, handing down the full 5 years. Or maybe, just maybe, the fact that he's a brand new father earns him one last chance to change. Either way, the clock is ticking, and that courtroom moment is going to define him for years to come. One thing's for sure, the whole world is watching every single move. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and drop a comment with your thoughts.